In this video, I want to chat about answering GD&T questions in a job interview. So the first question you might get is a general, what is GD&T? The answer that I would give is that GD&T is a language using symbology to communicate design information between engineering, drafting, manufacturing, and inspection. So pretty good answer. You don't have to go too much further than that. Language is the key word in that answer. The next question is probably going to dive a little bit more deep into your knowledge. The question we ask here to new employees is, what is rule number 1? So I'll explain it real quick. Rule number 1 states that features must have perfect form when at MMC. MMC stands for maximum material condition. Maximum material condition is when the feature has the most material. So it would be the largest pin or the smallest hole within its stated limits of size. So when a feature like a pin or a shaft comes in at MMC, the largest size it can be, it must have perfect form. It's got to be perfectly straight, no variation at all in the form of that feature. Now, if a feature comes in at something other than MMC, so say the pin comes in smaller, you get form variation equal to the difference between the maximum material condition size and the actual size it came in at. So this is how we get tolerance. We can't make everything perfectly. Rule number 1, it's a great convenient way to compare parts to see if they're going to fit together. If we know the largest, the MMC of a pin and the MMC of a hole, and they're made and inspected correctly, as long as the pin is smaller than the hole, they're going to fit together. We don't have to wonder, whether they're going to fit or not. Now, a couple, add-ons to rule number 1. It only applies to individual features. So if you have several diameters on a shaft, there's no requirement for it to have perfect form when they all come in at MMC. That has to be controlled separately with a position, form, run out, all of the other geometric tolerances that are available to us. Now, there are exceptions to rule number 1. You probably won't need to go into that in a job interview. If you can remember most of what I just said, you'll be good to go. Now, the next question you'll probably get is, what is rule number 2? Now, there's only 2 rules in the whole ASME standard, so this list doesn't go very long. It's just rule number 1 and rule number 2. Rule number 2 basically says that when a feature of size has a geometric tolerance, the default requirement is regardless of feature size, as opposed to an MMC or a LMC material condition modifier. What this means, if you have a position tolerance of say 30 thousandths with no material condition modifier symbol, it means that that feature has that tolerance no matter what size the feature comes in at. If you have an MMC modifier on that feature, it means that that tolerance, say that 30 thousandths, only applies if the feature comes in at its MMC size. If it comes in at a different size towards its LMC, you get more geometric tolerance equal to the difference between the MMC size and the size it actually came in at. So this is a very powerful feature of geometric tolerancing that gives manufacturing more tolerance to work with and still provides parts that are going to fit together. So in that answer, if you can do it somewhat like I did, you'll illustrate your knowledge of how the system works. Now, the last thing I'll say is that when you go to your interview, if you're going to be a drafter, a design person, or an engineer, you usually want to bring some reference materials. You'll bring your portfolio. You might want to bring a GD&T book. Now, I would recommend you get yourself a copy of the ASME standard. This is 1994, it's out of date, but it's 40, 50 bucks on eBay. Any version of the standard is better than nothing. So spend 40, 50 bucks, grab this on eBay. It's good to have one of these because all the textbooks you're using in school or textbooks in general, get their information from here. So if you can read straight from here, this is where you want to go, especially if you have issues. If somebody doesn't agree with you or a customer doesn't agree with how something's toleranced, you can go back to the ASME standard to get the real information. Textbooks are great, but what textbooks do is explain it to you, kind of like I'm doing in this video. But if it's really important, remember drawings or contracts, you want to go to the ASME standard for your information. I'd advise against bringing one of these pocket handbooks to a job interview. The pocket handbooks are great, but you should really have all the symbols memorized if the job requires you to use GD&T on a daily basis, okay? So, pocket handbook's great when you're learning. Depends on the level of job you're looking for, but if they really expect you to know GD&T, bring a copy of the printed standard with you, not necessarily a pocket handbook, okay? So that's all the information I had for this video. Just a quick talk about some GD&T interview questions. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below.